it's Vergil. So in this one, we're going to be updating my top 10 best units tier list here on Dragon Ball Legends for the Legends Festival of 2024 Part 2. So we do have the brand new LF Super Saiyan and Mini Daima Goku, and then we do have the transforming Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 3 Goku from Majin Buu Saga. I know, another Majin Buu Saga buff in a year of GT, right? We had so many Majin Buu Saga buffs, and honestly it was cool for some time, but at this point it's just oversaturated. And the devs, it feels like, are they like playing the game? Are they testing this? Because it seems already been overpowered this whole year, right? We just got the best unit in the game, Majin Vegeta, who I still is believed to be argued #1 currently, and then we just had like another amazing partner to kind of fill in a role. Imagine in proud mode, right? So this tier list, obviously, if you guys don't know how this goes, it's a meta tier list, meaning it's not only going to be individual kits for the placements. I feel like I have to say this every single time because people look at tier lists and they're like, yo, how is this character above this character? So how that works is, without teams or team synergies or support for certain characters to be placed above another character, it wouldn't work just from an individual aspect. Obviously, if a character is powerful enough alone, that will be already taken into consideration for his placement, but this is an overall tier list, so meta, colors, individual kits, teams, how many of the best teams are they featured on, versatility, everything, proud, standard mode are taking place into consideration for my placements personally. So I know a lot of people are very hypocritical in that sense, right? Whether that's, you know, people in the community or giving takes, or even it could be yourself unintentionally. It's not ever going to be X unit is better than X unit, because if that's the case, there's just none of the list would even make sense at that point, right? But yes, we do have, before we dive in, also drop a like in the video, subscribe if you guys are new, because I upload every single day with Dragon Ball Legends, and your top credible source, sourcely, that is not a word. Yes, so we got the #1 unit in the game here. It's going to be Majin Vegeta still. I do believe he is currently tied with Vegito Blue. I do have to put him on the same tiers. I'm going to just be honest as possible. It's hard to just flat out say one character is better than the other character, because they both have access to so much value in terms of individually, in terms of the teams. They're fit on the same teams together, so they just, you know, Vegeta, I don't even need to break down their kits or anything, but like infinite combos. You know, this guy just completely counters him, first of all, right? With the gauge, it's like one of the strongest abilities in the game is the auto gauges. And the fact that he's able to go right through them is practically insane. If you mix them both together, it becomes disgusting. So if you guys are running these, you know, this combo right here, well, you already got the best duo in the game. It doesn't even matter who you're running third. These guys are the best two characters just above everybody else. The snipe mechanic is extremely broken. The AoE green cards, like I said, combo potential, the gauge ability, all that jazz. I don't really need to get into too much. I feel like this is a common placement for these two characters specifically. But moving on to the third and fourth characters, we do have some Majin Buu Saga units. I think Gotenks was my last #3, and I think he's still at #3. You could argue this Goku above just because the green yellow setup is kind of up there right now. This is like an infinite combo team, just these guys continuously comboing with the green cards, card draw speed, and it's the same thing with the Majin Vegeta, right? The combo here potential is absolutely disgusting. This guy does get endurance nullification on entry, whereas Gotenks gets it on main ability. Although Gotenks does have a lot of other utilities, this Goku doesn't. He isn't as much of a glass cannon. He's got endurance. He's got the vanish restore very easily with his green card. He's a green card multiplier, so this guy's just constantly drawing greens as well. So a little bit of inconsistencies with the Goku. I think he's a little bit more of a like a Vegito 0.5, which is like a, you know, like a mini, like a worser Vegito, if you want to say it like that, which is not to mean that the character's bad. I just do think he's a little bit carried by what the current meta options are. So like Majin Buu Saga, partners with Vegito, partners with any of these top units, whether it's like on Saiyans, on MBS, with Sun Family, whatever you want to throw him on. He's definitely got insane partners right now, so that's why I think he's placed so high. Individually, I think he's going to be fine, but definitely on the glass side. Not even going to say cannon. Like I said, his damage is a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes he's doing more or less, but he can combo forever. So like a Mosquito, Ultra Kaioken, Evo Ken vibes, And yeah, Gotenks is still holding on pretty well. I think they're both up there in terms of versatility, team-wise, options, etc. Very similar placements, whether you wanted to have like this or this. I do think this top 4 is going to be agreed upon with the majority of the community right now. So whether you wanted to have it like this or not, or the other way around, same thing with the Majin Vegeta and the Vegeta. I do think this is more interchangeable though. I was actually leaning towards Majin Vegeta in the beginning. I swapped over to the Vegito, felt like Vegito had more of an edge, and I can't even tell anymore. Both of these characters, I really cannot tell for the first one. So the top 1-2 characters are absolutely interchangeable, whereas the 3, 4, I'm gonna have it set like this. You could interchange it as well, but I'm not gonna have every character in the in the map interchangeable here. So I'm gonna have Gotenks at number 3. I'm gonna have Super Saiyan 3 Goku at number 4. The transformation's cool. Obviously there's things that come alongside that with the gauge, all this other utilities and stuff, but it's very close amongst these guys. For the rest, it's this has been a little bit of a tough one. Obviously, if you guys are following me on X, I always upload an initial list before I give you guys the video list. So I, use the units, I test out teams, I see how they're performing in the meta. It's obviously probably going to be a new season, which is when characters release, so I get a pretty good general idea. I give you guys that take, and I did that this time around. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna move a couple of things on this list that I had over on X, and it's not going to be like a make it or break it list. It's just a couple of placements here, so they're all in the same range anyways. I just try to make my general initial take good enough to where it's like it's not going to be too much movement for when the video happens. But this time around, it's like the same exact premise, but I do have a couple of characters I do want to move around here. So at number 5, I did have the Goku Black, and I honestly did believe he was still number 5, so I placed him at number 5. I'm like one of the only people in the community, honestly. I know there's people out there, but as content creators go, as like anyone that I can see personally, he just gets 90% slander, maybe 95%. I don't see any appreciation from this guy. I feel like I'm carrying the Goku Black love all by myself. And it's not a biased thing. It's honestly, I try to be objective as possible. He has incredible team value, versatility, individual value, and obviously there's flaws in his kit. I'm not going to deny that. I've said it multiple times. Obviously his gauge could be better, could have had blast armor on his pre-transformation, etc. There's so many things about him, but obviously they're just things you have to play around. And if you can do that, you can utilize his tools. He is a great unit. He still can disrupt. He still has insane combos, team value, and he's partnered up with some of the best units in the game, right? Whether you want to do a yellow setup with Goku Black and Vegeta, which is what I have personally been doing. Even in this green meta, I have been running yellow, blue with an insane win rate. But his best partner will be Vegito, right? These two characters do cancel buff effects on Rising Rush. There's a lot of cancel buff effects in this meta, and anybody that doesn't cancel buff effects, is just partnered up with said characters. There's a lot of double lives, there's a lot of cancel buff effects, and there's, every character that has a cancel buff effect is for a different ability, right? So these guys are for Rising Rush ultimates. We have Trunks that cancels buff effects on blue, you name it, right? So this guy is actually pretty important because these are the only two, I believe, besides maybe Ulton, Evil Boo, like some characters that have kind of fallen quite a bit. So really common unit to have a rush cancel buff effect. So like from this guy right here, from anyone that's going to break your endurance with a Rising Rush buff effect, or nullify endurance with the Rising Rush buff. You guys get what I'm saying here. He's a really good asset to have. So whether you're in with him, you can swap into Majin Vegeta, Gotenks, any other character, and it's going to perform really well. The problem with this, having him at number 5, I just wanted to list the reasons. He has excellent partners, great individual utility. He has endurance himself. He can be built strike or blast. Not a lot of units can do that. They're just catered to either strike, they're either catered to blast, but he is very comfortable on both of the offenses, especially defenses. People are tied way too much on the defensive type when he is an all-rounder character. He's not strictly a defensive unit. He's not like a Turles unit. He's capable of absurd amounts of damage. He's capable of pretty decent defense on both ends, everything, pretty much. But yeah, I do think he has taken a hit simply for the fact that Daima Goku released. And believe it or not, even though this Daima Goku does not have, I'm not placing Goku Black just yet. I had him at 5, but it's a weird placement for this character right here. I will say that he's definitely being run in the meta. One of his best partners is going to be the Daima Tamagami bot. I believe that's what Tamagami 3. And incredible duo. Daima is still not a fully fledged team, but you can literally run him on Saiyans, on Sun Family, with any of these guys. They're going to be great. The problem with him is he's not the first option, and I will say that with absolute certainty. Any synergies that you want to have on a build, whether it's with Vegeta, Vegito, Gotenks, Goku, any of these other units, without him, honestly, I think is a better comp. He is a one-man show currently because he doesn't have access to any of the best teams in the game. Obviously, it's not really saying too much because if you slap him on the team, it's still arguable, right? If he's in the top 10 list, still amongst the best comps in the game. I just still think that he doesn't have like a solidified combination where it's like exceeding. He's kind of limited right now. He's absolutely limited. I think his individual potential actually brings him up to the point where I'm going to personally have him, which is at number 6. What is this? 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have him at 6, honestly. So I'm not going to place him just yet, but it's hard to place this unit right here. Just like I said, he has a decent team building issue. It's just not straightforward. Obviously, he has good taggings, but it isn't, you know, synergy, team dynamic is extremely important. So one thing I will say is his individual kit. He's a red unit and he's able to snipe characters with endurance, right? He gets the cancel buff effect or the nullify endurance buff effect for endurance. And if he locks you in with his blue card, your gauge is filled. Characters like Majin Vegeta, characters like Rose, a lot of units with just basic endurance can get sniped with this Daima Goku. So yellow units are extremely susceptible to this. Not to mention this Goku too, just on entry with nullify endurance abilities. So I do think that Rose, unfortunately, is going to have to drop on this list. I had him at 5, but the more I ran him, the more issues I faced with just simple, you know, 1 + 1 = 2 kind of things. Like, yo, this is a red unit. He's easily sniping my character. Doesn't matter how much team value that he has. I still believe he's absolutely viable in this meta. And there's no, in my personal belief, he's out of the 10. I do not believe Goku Black's out of the 10. That's just me. I do have to put him like at 7, 8, something like that. 6, 7, 8. So we're moving him out of the 5. I'm gonna be funny, very funny. A couple of these other units. If you guys see my original take on X, I had Trunks above. Blues are taking a little bit of a hit. Greens are extremely popular. Double greens are extremely popular. I'm still running blue. My current setup is the Vegeta Goku Black Trunks. This setup is so good, right? You're having the future duo here. You're having the Vegeta clan duo right here. We have triple endurance. We have a blue cancel buff effect, a rising rush buff effect, or cancel buff effects. Another one with Majin Vegeta. All of them are durable. All of them are defensive, and all of them are capable of doing absurd damages. Problem is the endurance nullifiers. There's so many, and the most popular one is running around and he's just doing stupid damage even at low star. So I think if Goku had just a little bit of better synergistic teams, this guy would definitely be higher. But I'm lowering this. I just wanted to fully explain why my Rose take is dropping right now, and he's going to be around there. I don't know where, but he's going to be on this 3rd tier. For the Trunks, I had him next to Rose, I think. So at 5, I'm pretty sure I had Trunks at 6. I'm also going to be moving Trunks down. The greens are definitely doing the same thing. Basically the same thing I just said. Goku, this Super Saiyan 3 Goku's doing infinite combos. He is probably one of the best blues to eat damage, deal damage, and he's on par with, like, I don't want to say he's on par with Turles individually because he's not. I actually lowered Turles on the original X list, but I want to bring him higher because I tested him out yesterday, and despite movies, Triku, who I think is, you know, lowering a lot on this list, believe it or not, it's a yellow unit without endurance too. So like, I know he cancels the buff effect, I know he has good disruptive abilities, the combo potential, partners, whatnot. He's still the worst out of the best yellows in my opinion, so he's falling off, which means, you know, that was Turles' best partner, right? If you're running movies, you could still run powerful opponents with Goku Black, but normally this guy is on leader. Best individual blue unit in the game. It's really hard to place right now because he is a leader slot merchant. Greens are running around. Comeback is still powerful. His utility, his tools are still powerful, but no cancel buff effects from him. He's blue. Very tanky, very disruptive. He's got a lot of healing. I honestly value him so much post that first list individually that I'm bringing him higher. So I'm going to put Turles at the top 5. I know it's crazy. You can have the Goku there, this mini Goku. I think he's good enough, but honestly, I want to bring Turles to that top 5 light or top 6, something like this. It's hard because Turles does not have a true team, man. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like this. Something like this. I had, like I said, I had Trunks there simply from a team value perspective. He isn't a leader slot merchant, right? He's got Vegeta Clan right now. He's got Future right now. He's got, I mean, I guess you could say hybrid Saiyans with Gotenks, whatever you want to call it. He's got a couple of different builds that's outside of leader, and he has some excellent partners synergizing well, whether that's on Future with Vegito and Goku Black, whether that's with Majin Vegeta, whether that's with, you know, a couple of these hybrid Saiyan characters. He's got it. Turles has to be on leader for the most part. I think in the only case he's not is if he's paired along a powerful opponent unit, or I guess Triku, who is seeing a lot less because yellows are taking a hit. So yellow meta taking a hit. Triku's, Daimagoku's decently hard to place. Something like this, man. Something like this. I'll probably do that. And then throw Goku Black at 7, Trunks at 8. Yes, I still believe Trunks is amongst the top 10 characters. I think Future, I think like I just said, the partners, right, the disruptive factor, the defense, these guys all having very similar roles where it's like heavy offense but good disrupt defense as well. So one hit defense, when you fill up the gauge, you're going to do a disrupt. When you fill up the gauge, you're going to disrupt. And the same thing goes for a couple of these other characters with their disrupt abilities or their defenses, right? Decent healing, really good roll, cancels buff effects, crazy damage, and obviously has an ultimate in a meta where there's a lot of double lives and cancel buff effects. It's tough for him, but out of the blue units and the supportive role that he plays, I don't want to underestimate the Trunks. I'm going to absolutely keep him in my top 10 list. We're keeping Rose in my top 10 list, but he does have to go below a Daimagoku, and I do value Turles a lot more right now. Just individually, man. We've been running a team where I tested this out before actually the release of Daimaku and the Goku. I don't know if you guys know this, but this trio right here, very weird. Someone's going to be missing ability, whether you have Majin Vegeta lead and you run these two, or whether you run Turles lead and you run these two. These guys are not going to be buffing each other, and, you know, someone's missing abilities here. There's going to be two characters not buffing each other, but guess what? The synergy of the team plus how strong these characters are individually held its own. So obviously you can make it work to a sense where it's like Turles lead, you could have Majin Vegeta, or excuse me, you could have Vegito blue and you could have Goku Black in the same setup. So blue, green, yellow, crazy comp. So this guy lead and then run powerful opponents, or you could do this guy lead and you will run, I don't know, like a yellow Zenkai bench with 2 yellows, or it's very funky with Turles. Very funky team building, but these guys are so good individually that I'm going to put them above these two currently. So the snipe potential, the insane defense utility potential, I'm having these guys up right now. I'll probably have Turles top 5. I'll put Daimaku at number 6. We'll have Goku Black at number 7. We have sort of Hope Trunks at number 8. For all things considered, so this guy moved down. This guy was up. I tried to move him down. I couldn't move him down. This guy is going to stay around a similar place. Daimaku is making a very solid first appearance where you're just, it's hard to place him, but I just wanted to get all my ideas out there so you guys understand where I'm coming from, and it's probably just a big word vomit, but it needs to be said so you guys are like, this is what he's processing right now. Honestly, I'm throwing the robots. I am throwing this guy in the top 10. He is Goku's best partner. His duo, the absolute duo between these guys, the synergy is phenomenal. So obviously this guy doesn't have endurance, but Goku does get endurance when your opponent rising rushes, and you're able to get Dragon Balls back. So pretty good ability out of these two. Great combo potential, great defenses, great healing. One of, if not, I guess he's the best purple in the game right now, because I'm going to put him above Ulton. I think these guys make a great role, whatever third character you want to have. So like on leader, you could have him. You could have some Saiyan build with him on leader, something like that. This guy's absolutely meta and core with Daimagoku. So if you're running him and you want to run this guy, it's a great partnership. So this is what? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the 10th placement is going to go right here. Honestly, I am still most likely This is going to be a tough one, but I'm going to go with Ultimate Gohan. Ultimate Gohan for number 10 for all things considered. From the team versatility, he's probably one of the most versatile units in the game. Sun Family, Hybrid Saiyans, Majin Buu Saga. There's a lot of blast units running around. He can even be on some strike setup, so versatile in that sense. The utility from the Vanish Restore to the cancel buff effects to the endurance. You know, you're matching him with all these characters up here. Even leader slot, right? But a unit that cancels buff effects with endurance, able to cancel rising rush buffs. Dude is phenomenal right now. Not right now, right? Yellows have been kind of toned down. Greens are kind of up. To have another purple running around, I think he is a very deserving number 10. We're going to have some honorable mentions. I'm going to move these guys down so they're not confused in the honorable mentions. I'll probably move Evil Boo down, and I'll leave these 4 right here. So Shin, Super Vegito with Majin Buu Saga, the Saiyans, the Sun Family. I feel like he's still going to be a great asset. Obviously, rising rush buffs are absolutely nerfed. But, you know, you can still catch a lot of them off guard, whether it's with him, whether it's with him, whether it's with, you know, any character that doesn't have endurance. Rising Rush will always have some value, especially if you're removing a first life, endurance, comeback, indestructible, and whatnot. I think indestructible is seeing a little bit less just because you can infinite combo. So whether you're running the team with an infinite combo with Omega or without, if you have an indestructible unit, you can just infinite combo and stall out to timers. It's very weird. Yeah, obviously it's still a good ability. I think Omega is still fine. It's just he's not really seeing the best teams right now, and it's more of a forced situation, whether you want to have him on lead, whether you want to have like a funky mixture with the fusions. It still works. I think Omega is still great. He's been underrated forever, and I've always valued him, but currently I just don't think I could put him in the 10. It's just, I'm going to be completely honest. His main role is probably unpowerful opponent and fusions. And fusions, there's so many better other options you could be running. Shin's great on Majin Buu Saga, sort of God Key, any of these leader slot comps with his individual utility, with his card seals, the disrupts, the paralyze. He's got a lot of quirks, but I don't think it's enough to put him in the top 10 for me. And I think Triku's absolutely fallen out of the 10. It's not to say that he's bad, and he's not bad by any means. I just think he is definitely the worst yellow. If it's not apparent enough, I just do think he's the worst yellow with not even having endurance, right? So that aside, that alone, a unit that pops an ultimate, anything that breaks his first life, he's dead. I know he has the disrupt. I know he has crazy green cards, combo potential, Vanish Restore. I understand his utility. I use all these units. But I will say this is probably going to be my honorable mention. I don't want to have these ordered, so honorable mention isn't currently ordered, but this will probably be my 4 units that I would have here. Every single color has somewhat value, right? Greens are insanely powerful. Yellows have been. Reds are recently on the up, so yellows mini hit. Green's up, blue's mini hit, and then purple's seeing some resurgence with greens being up. So every single one of these colors are seeing some decent value. So all of these guys are going to have some sort of relevancy. Any other characters that I could possibly mention? This Videl, haven't used her, don't know. Celza, mid, card seal, gimmick. Gogeta 4, no. Fusion, sure, obviously this guy's good individually, but there's too much to counter him, even outside of the yellow units, right? Like the snipe. The anti-gauge, right, with Vegito literally going type neutral and just shredding this guy anyways. I think he's definitely far off from being from top 10. Even in 15 realm, I don't think he's in the top 15 anymore, so unfortunate for him. Any other unit that I can see here? Gohan, he's always been good individually. That's literally it. Let me know if I'm forgetting anybody. I know Evil Boo is definitely really good. I know Mai's really good, but I don't think I would even place... You want to have him as a mention as well. It'd be hard to not mention Evil Boo. He's so good. Evil Boo's so good. He has crazy partners. Still relevant. Great 1% sparking unit. But all these guys, honorable mentions, there's a really wide range for them. Let me know what you guys think of my top 10 list. I did move a couple of things around from the original list, so feel free to let me know in the comment section. But I'll catch you guys in the very next one. Stay frosty, and I'm out. Catch my flight, so you don't gotta wait on me.